Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa, and this is my YouTube channel where we learn about all things science and math. And what we're going to do now is we are going to use our graphing calculator to solve quadratic equations. So handy, very useful. Okay, so in the Algebra 2 book we have this equation. Now there's two ways to do it. The first way is to just graph it, and we can use the root or zero feature on our calculator. So I'll show you that way first. To do that, you have to make it where you put all the numbers on one side and zero on the other side. So we have that equation, and we need to move that 5. Well, how do you move things in algebra? By doing the opposite. This is a plus 5, so I do minus 5 to both sides. Those cancel out because you're allowed to do anything you want in algebra as long as you do it to both sides of the equals. So then it looks like this. That's my new equation with it 0. Now weirdly, 0 and y, or f of x, are all kind of the same thing. I know there's probably math teachers going, no, but close enough. All right, so now this is our regular math screen. We want to go to the y equals screen. And, whoops, we don't want that. Go to the y equals screen and clear out whatever's in there. So I pushed the clear button to get rid of what was in there. All right, now I'm going to use the arrow keys again, and I'm going to put in this equation exactly as written. 2 beginning parentheses. So there's 2, there's beginning parentheses. And now I'm going to do x, that button right there is x, minus 3, this is minus in the middle, negative at the beginning. This is in the middle of the equation, so it's minus. And now it's squared, so I'm going to use that squared button. Okay? And now minus 5. So that's my equation, and I want to pick a good window, so I'm going to say zoom standard. That should be pretty good. So I picked 6, and there it is. Or if you have a good window already, you could do graph. All right, so now I can find out the answers. The solutions are considered where this parabola crosses the x-axis, so the answer is that and that. But it's hard to tell exactly what it is. So I'm going to use second trace, and I'm going to pick this thing 0. 0 is another word for the answer. It's called roots or zeros. So I'm going to hit, I could say number 2 or enter. I'm saying enter. Okay, and now I should have a little... my little cursor. So I used my arrows till I found it. I put it on the top of the parabola over here, which is actually to the left, and I hit enter. Now it says right bound. I arrow over some. I'm using the arrow over to I'm on the other side of the x-axis, and I hit enter. And now it says guess, and I say sure. And it tells me that the first answer is 1.41. So that was our first answer. They rounded it to 1.42, so we got it right. Now we have to do it again for this side. So we go back to second trace. We go back to 0. This time, our left side, we want this one. Our left side is underneath the x-axis right there. We hit enter for yes. Now we keep arrowing till it's above the line, and hit enter again, and it says guess, and we say yes, and it tells us it's 4.58, and it's 4.58. Now, there's another way to do it that I want to show you also. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to clear that out, and this is the other way to do it, and this can really help you on the SAT and the ACT, and when you're taking on any math test where there's a problem and you have no idea how to do it, but it has an equals. Well, you can put both sides of the equations into your calculator, find where they intersect, and it will tell you the answer. So I'm going to put this half of the equation in first. 2 beginning parentheses, x minus 3 in parentheses. Okay? Now I'm going to arrow down, and I'm going to put what it equals. And it equals 5, not negative 5, just 5. You put it in as written. Okay, now we're going to graph it. Something didn't work there. I left off my squared. Didn't push hard enough on the square. Those were 2 lines. Let's get that squared on there. There, now it's going to work. Let's graph it. Okay, so the answers are where these two lines meet. This time, instead of doing roots, I can do intersect, number 5. And so it says first curve, and it's got the blue curve up here. I'll say sure, enter. Second curve, the red line, yeah. It says guess, I say sure, and it tells me 1.41. That's our first one. Now I still have to get the other one. Do you see how that was a little easier? It was just, you go to intersect, you hit enter 3 times, it tells you the answer. We'll do it on the other side. We go back to second trace. We go back to intersect. This time I need my blinky thing on the other side, so I'm going to arrow around to it. You try to get your blinky thing close to where the intersection is. And now it says first curve, I'm going to say yes. Second curve, yes. That's enter, guess, yes. And there's the answer, 4.58. I think this one's easier, and it's kind of like magic, the way like Dorothy clicked her ruby slippers together 3 times, and you know, there's no place like home, there's no place like home. But you just say enter 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and ta-da! There's the answer at the bottom of your calculator. And so this will work. Imagine that you're on the SAT, and this equation is something crazy that you have no idea how to do. You just put in one side, type it in exactly, put in the other side, and then pick intersect, get your little cursor on where they intersect, and hit enter 3 times, and ta-da! There's the answer at the bottom. All right, so that's a great skill to have. Practice it, get good at it so you remember it when you take the SAT or that college test. And come back, like, share, subscribe. Math is great. See you later.